Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria, and it's time for the newspaper headlines. And I'll be starting. Of course, I have Mike here. Mike, how are you doing this morning?
People don't used to give your analyst pizza
Then I will give you analyst
and
title.
champagne.
Pizza and
They're
champagne.
supposed to be taking care of your analyst. Yeah.
Don't worry. Really, is that all you want? I got you covered.
No, let's start with that.
I got you. Okay, so
I've
now.
said it on air. I will drag you if I don't get it.
When I say something, I mean it. Don't be doubting me. Anyways, we're starting.
You don't talk.
We're starting with the Punch newspaper this morning. So for here, we have subsidy removal. We're saying poor Nigerians will hit 101 million without palliatives. Now, this report came in from the World Bank. Okay, so I think I actually read a bit about this, and I hear that literally this is the fastest, inflation, talking about Nigeria now compared to the rest of the world. Yes. And then we've had even a surge because 4 million people also hit inflation, rather have actually even gone poor from 1st of January up till now. And it's actually really crazy. So,
sometime a few years back,
yeah.
we hit the top of the table when it comes to the country with the most extreme poor people.
Yes.
Nigeria was number one. You understand? And what is happening now is that doesn't seem. It seems like that position we are even going further.
We are beating our own record.
We are beating our own record as it stands. And but from what I see here, what World Bank, based on this headline, what they are trying to put out there as a solution or as a panacea to this is not. For me, it won't work. Talking about, demand cash transfer scheme for poor Nigerians. As a panacea, that is not it. You need to ensure that the things that are around, if we should have an economy not entirely dependent on fuel.
Yes, true.
So what happens is that if the fuel has gone up, then we should have alternative means by which our economy can be run. What I mean is that, look, yes, there's a fuel issue. But you know that a lot of businesses now run on fuel and diesel.
Yes.
So the point is that if power, as the infrastructure can be sorted out, that will take a whole lot
of burden
from that, and it will help. So if we put other things in place, okay, what? You give somebody, say, what, 20,000, 30,000? How long would that last? How many months would you give it for?
So it's the same thing.
I'm trying to say how that will work. So how would that work?
Yeah, how would that literally help alleviate from the poverty? Because the truth is, over the years, different factors have actually contributed to the poverty of Nigerians. So now this fuel subsidy, of course, is one that is said, move the quickest to literally bring people to that point and all of that. 4 million people in just about 4 to 5 months. That's definitely crazy. And then there was also conversation about different other issues people might actually start looking to pull. For instance, now pulling their children from school to also help the family not go under, not going to the hospital, thinking that, those bills would definitely help them, add to what they have at home. So it's actually a situation where I don't think palliatives is what we're looking at now. We need more, more sustainable means to actually
That's just it. Get the economy working on that places. Something I just want to point out here, Tinubu, Khan and governors preach tolerance at Salah. And this, for me, this is big.
Yes,
Why is it big? Because we have never, up until the last election, we have never in recent times been so divided along tribal and religious lines like it happened during the elections.
True.
After the elections, we've heard stuff. A lot of times it seemed as though it was Christians against Muslims and all of that. It should not be so. And then even Christians themselves against Christians, different factions, just so much happening. Tolerance.
Yes.
And that is it. You have a president whose wife is a pastor.
True. He is a Muslim, his wife is a pastor. That in itself is an image that actually...
Exactly. That should just think about how the home would be. So somebody who thinks that way, I'm just saying, imagine somebody who in his home, his wife is a Christian, he's a Muslim, a devoted Muslim, his wife is a pastor. So think about the dynamics in the house.
Yes.
So that person, exactly. So that kind of a person can understand what it means to tolerate each other.
Yes.
So as a country, we should. It's not something that it's not dispensable. It's not something that we can just. We have to. We have to. Yeah. I love that. So tolerate me when I come to ask for ram this morning. You must give me ram.
Like,
If not,
please. Okay, I mean, I think we'll take that. I mean, for the Nation, that's where we had the headlines for Eid el-Kabir. Now, moving on to the Guardian, we have. I really want to touch on this motorist situation.
Okay.
The motorist to pay 1,000 naira for proof of ownership certificates from July. That's next month. So now people are talking about the subsidy and still trying to grapple with that and balance out. Now, this is another levy being put on car owners in Nigeria. So now, what do you actually think about this one?
oh,
It's a certificate that was actually given free of charge initially.
this is not the best time to start. I mean,
To start
with that one. That's for me. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not also the first time where we heard about someone wants to start, and then when there's an outcry or there's some kind of pushback, and then those things are taken away.
Okay, so on that point, I would say, to be honest, yes, I remember that, because I remember the removal of subsidy also wanted to happen before. But then again, to be honest, I don't think this is the government for that. I don't think.
I feel like I will get into details, but I feel like, look, whatever it is, it can also be pushed back. At this point in time, I saw some documents that there's this guy. There's a video that was trending some weeks back about this person who was transporting food and how many levies and dues he had to pay.
Yeah.
It seemed like which office, when you go into this government office and you see the pack of levies and dues and stickers that this person had to pay at different points in times and all that. And he said, look, this food is cheap. He was transporting yam. I think it was from Benue State. The yam is cheap. When I put in my transportation cost, when I put in all these levies and everything, it now falls down to the end consumer.
Yeah.
You understand? So we have to find a way. They are already too much, so we cannot. I don't think it's in our best interest at this point.
At this point.
So I feel like if we look at it more, there can be a pushback, and it's not stuck in iron. It can be reversed.
It can be reversed.
But
if it's not necessary. I don't see it as a necessity, to be honest, because I believe cars, I mean, we have different certifications and, I mean, documents already in the cars to check for the ownership and all of it, because it's just basic information the certificate is going to hold. So let's move on to the Daily Trust. Now, we have economic security challenges surmountable. Now, this is what Tinubu is saying. So in what direction do you think he's referring to talking about this?
Look, when it comes to security and all of that, look, the major challenge I would have is saboteurs. What I mean is that, look, you have people, and that has always been a problem. You have people who are inside the government, right? People who are inside the government, people who are inside the administration, who give information to these terrorists and all of that. You know where they are. Let me tell you, if a people are united, if a people have a common goal, terrorism can be easy to defeat. I mean, there's a saying that is being credited to a former head of state who mentioned that if terrorism stays more than a week or two, then the government is involved in some way or the other. But we know that, look, this is what has happened. We've had past administrations where people inside the government have inside information. I mean, the other day, it was the governor of Kaduna who mentioned that, look, we hear them, we know what they say, we can intercept their communication. Challenge, insecurity, it is, just like what the president said now, it is. I like that he's saying this, so that means that there's a mindset that he's going there with.
Yes.
It is not something that we have to deal with and say, okay, it is now become a way of life.
Yes.
We cannot say so.
No, of
So
course.
if he has come out to say that they are surmountable, then we expect that they are putting modalities or they're putting structures in place.
True.
To
actually
ensure
something I like about this
overcome
administration so far, it seems like a very decisive one, right?
Let's
Literally
start
that knows, it's like they hit the ground
Let's
running.
So
of course, let's start seeing the implementation of all
results.
of these things. And yeah, I mean, I believe we're in for a very interesting 4 years and maybe 8 years. Thank you so much, Analyst Mike.
Oh, Benny,
we'll bring your tea, coffee, and champagne in a bit.
Okay, fast.
Is that all right?
Fast.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for staying with us. There's still so much more coming up here on Wake Up Nigeria. Do not touch that dial. We'll be right back.